Kids, get in bed because today I want to tell you a bedtime story about a community which is so entitled and ungrateful it is actually mind-boggling. Back when Borderlands 3 had its second season pass come out, there was a big complaint from the community, which was that they shouldn't have to pay for the second season pass because they already paid for the first one, and such they shouldn't have to pay even more money, and as a result they came to the conclusion that Gearbox and 2K were stealing money from them. And it was a big thing for a while in the community because people were upset that they were being forced to pay for another season pass to get another round of content. Now I know when I say that it might blow your mind a little bit because common sense would tell you that a season pass covers that season of content, right? So when a new season begins, the new content isn't covered by the first season pass. But not the Borderlands community, because when that happened, they took up a massive issue with Gearbox and 2K doing so, and as such a lot of people started boycotting Borderlands 3 and review bombing it on Steam, which is so bizarre to me because they did the same thing when the Epic exclusivity came out and that achieved nothing. So the fact that they would do that again is kind of mind-blowing to me. But with that quick little lore piece out of the way, that brings me to why I'm making this video today, because that ugly head in the community has once again reared itself, and unfortunately this time it's regarding Wonderlands and that season pass. Once the YouTube recommended shares this around, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out of the loop, so let me catch you up to speed. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a spin-off game from the Borderlands franchise based around a character called Tiny Tina. Back when Borderlands 2 was out in 2012, there was a DLC called Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep, and people loved it so much that Gearbox and 2K wanted to make a whole game around that theme that was separate to Borderlands, played different to Borderlands, but it gave that character their own way to shine in a full main scale game. So launching on the 25th of March is going to be Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, right? And they've already showed off a bunch of content for it, and everyone that's played the game early has all said that the game is fantastic, and I'm one of them. I really think Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is an amazing game, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. And a few days ago, they did a reveal of the end game content, which was this procedurally generated dungeon kind of thing with its own replayable values to it, hidden bosses, and many more things. I'm not going to go into detail on it, but they did this end game reveal that got a lot of people excited, right? And then the next day after that, yesterday at the time of recording this video, out of nowhere, they came out with a trailer for their season pass, so that before launch, people can get an idea of what they're going to be getting when they purchase the Chaotic Great Edition, which is like the Ultra Deluxe Edition, or if they just want to buy the season pass separately, which is great, right? Transparency from the developer and from the publisher to show you what you're going to be getting if you spend money on it. But unfortunately, that didn't go down well with the Borderlands community. No. This community that complains so much about content and so much about being lied to or left in the dark took issue with Gearbox and 2K showing a trailer of the season pass. They took major issue with it. In fact, a lot of the videos that were put up yesterday covering the season pass, including my own, were bombed with hate. Like, just numerous comments saying that we're shills if we support these developers, that we're contributing to capital greed, whatever that's supposed to mean or connect to in any way with this situation. There was a lot of hate that was going around, and a lot of people basically got witch hunted if they supported this, including the developers from Gearbox and the 2K as well, you know? Now, you might be asking why that is. Was the content they showed off bad? Was it broken? Did it look glitchy? Did it look not fun? No, actually that's not the case at all. That's not what was wrong with the video that they showed off. In fact, there was nothing wrong with it. It actually looked amazing, and in fact it looked like the best content that they had released in a while. I actually got a lot of people excited for that season pass. But the issue that the Borderlands community took with this season pass video, or I should say most of the Borderlands community, and I think that's important to lay out before we go any further because I don't want to accidentally blanket anyone here, so just remember that I mean the majority here. Most of the community had this weird argument in their head and this weird logic that goes a little something like this, and this is from numerous examples of comments which I'm not going to show because I don't think I should give anyone attention like that. But the main argument that people had was that the content must be finished now if they're able to show it off, and thus it should belong in the main game. So Gearbox showing it off now shows that they're withholding from the community content that they could be giving away for free, and thus it's a cash grab. Which I must say has to be the most brain-dead argument I've ever heard, especially because Wonderlands went gold a number of weeks ago. So them showing off this season pass content isn't their way of withholding content from the main game, and in fact one of the developers, Mario, who's an absolute saint, on Twitter confirmed that the season pass content isn't finished and that they were just showing a trailer now to give people a glimpse of what they're buying. Which again, let me just talk about this for a second, is a fantastic thing, because when Borderlands 3 dropped, people spent money on a season pass and a lot of people felt like they got stung. So showing off exactly what we're going to be getting, or a general main idea of what we're going to be getting beforehand, is a great idea, but it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because according to them, that is content that they should be given. They deserve it. They've earned it. They are entitled to it. And that's something I want to talk about frequently in this video, and it's entitlement, because it is a disease. It is a plague, and it has plagued the Borderlands community for a very, very long time. And it's not just the main general casual players who have it as well. There's a few creators who have suffered from this in the past as well, and it's disgusting. Now, I'm not talking about the people who say that they want pearls in the game, or the people that say they want more raid bosses or more takedowns. I don't think that's entitlement. I think that is a general wish from the player base for content in the game, and I don't think that screams entitlement. What does, however, scream entitlement are these absolute brain-dead delinquents who sit online on Twitter or YouTube and say that they should get this content for free because they bought the game or because they bought the first season pass. Now listen, I am by no means an adult. In fact, I'm probably more childish than your average daycare attender. But I'll give you a taste of reality right now. If you think that's how things work in the real world, that you deserve to be given things for free if your initial purchase is made, or even if you're just a die-hard veteran of the series, you have got a rude awakening coming, because that's not how things work. Video games cost money to make. Development takes time. Publishing isn't easy. Marketing isn't easy. And all of these things take up resources which the developers and the publishers have to split accordingly. Like I said earlier, this season pass content is not finished yet, but even if it was finished and it was ready to go before launch, I've got a huge bit of breaking news for you. You are not entitled to be given it for free. And it's really sad because this stuff always happens in the Borderlands community. As I told you at the start of this video, it happened in Borderlands 3 with Season Pass 2, and that really didn't help things because Borderlands 3 at the time was already in dire state. So when the developers showed off Wonderlands and made it very clear that drastic improvements have been made this time around, you think the community would give them their due diligence and tip their hat accordingly, right? Well, no, that's not what they did, because the Borderlands community once again reared its ugly head. And I'm going to upset a few people with what I say here, but I think it's important to say this right now and say it on record so that no one twists my words. So I'm going to make my statement here very clear for everyone to understand, and that includes 2K, that includes Gearbox, that includes my fellow creators who are watching this now, and it also includes the entitled shitheads who are watching this video too. The Borderlands community is often regarded as the best community in gaming. The Borderlands community is the best. I hear it touted so many times, and I feel as though that couldn't be further from the truth. The Borderlands community, or at least the majority of it, because again, I'm not trying to blanket anyone, because I know that a few bad actors doesn't make up for the whole bunch, but I will say the majority of the Borderlands community are pig-headed, selfish, ignorant, and stuck up. And it's been that way since Borderlands 1. It was that way in Borderlands 2. It was definitely that way in the pre-sequel. It was definitely that way in Borderlands 3. And now with Wonderlands coming out, it is again rearing its ugly head. And it is disgusting. But of course, Jimmy Jenkins 24 doesn't care about the reputation the community has when he goes into a YouTube comment section and starts bitching, right? Because to him, he deserves that DLC, so he has to make that known. And don't worry, I hear you. I know that it's going to be a lot of people that are going to be pretty mad at me for making this video. Epic, don't give them attention. Epic, you're making the situation worse. But I just wanted to make this video as an example so that you guys can hear just how dumb you sound when you think you deserve something. It's like me buying a car and then saying that I deserve free oil changes, free tire repairs, free roadside service, all because my initial purchase was $5 grand. Now, of course, I could sit here and be diplomatic. I could sit sit here and be more respectful. I could sit here and not talk about this at all in hopes that it's all blown under the rug, but the reason why I'm not doing that is because it never is. This stuff keeps coming up time and time again, so I just wanted to say my piece on it so that in the future, if anyone brings this argument up, I can link them to this video so they know exactly what I think of it. But what really blows my mind is that not only are these people complaining entitled, but they're also really stupid. When Borderlands 3 came out, there was a lot of complaints that there wasn't enough content and that Gearbox were never clear enough with the community. They were never transparent enough. They never gave us a glimpse of what was coming down the road further enough so that people were left in the dark all the time and they hated it. So you would naturally think that when the opposite is done with Wonderlands, people would be happy, but that's not what's happened. Once again, that entitled side of the community is coming out, kicking up a stir, and it's pretty sad to see. Now again, before I end this video, I just want to say in no way am I trying to kick up drama or stir drama, because I know that's how it's going to come across to some, but I really just wanted to get on here today and talk with you guys because we don't do it very often. But this whole thing has just been one massive shit show, and I figured it was time to finally break my silence on it and say something about it. But regardless, I really hope you guys are looking forward to Wonderlands. Remember that it does come out on the 25th, so if you want to get it, you can get it on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, the Xbox One or the Xbox Series S, and the Epic Store. So yeah, that's about it really. I hope you guys are looking forward to the game as much as I am. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Take it easy.